this game, just solely what we talked about, right? I think both of these, I think it might have been Harry even day one, you know, for he said when Oplana coming into here, he expects for this lineup, right, to just be smashing their way through this whole qualifier.
Yeah.
And it is worrisome to see that triumph game. Yeah, they won, but this is a team that you should be winning against, you know, every single day. But you take the same flip side on Team 1, they also struggle against Bad News Bears, and they had a very close series, even though it went 2-0 versus RBG. So I think a lot is left to be asked for both of these two teams. I think this will be a really cool series just to see where we kind of have both of them. But here we go. Plano starting on that T side on Mirage. It's a fast B flash execute out towards that B bomb site.
Oh, a couple of taps from KNG, cutting off a rotate, and XNS misses the jump, so that will stall him on this retake. 2 players up the catwalk, and Oplano know where they're coming from, so they can set up for this play as well. KNG got a lot of info on top of his double kill, so this is seemingly a good, nice, easy post plant, but I say it, luckily VSM keeps it alive, and Henny to close. After they killed that Edward player, I got a bit scared, but Oplano take the pistol.
Yep, they certainly do, and that's the start they really wanted to have here, and looking nice and crisp. Just something I'll bring to the table in terms of narrative. Last time we saw Plano, things weren't going particularly well for Lucas. He had a pretty heavy series, and you know, this is a guy who's in the spotlight. There are some elements to this because they've got TRK available as a player that some are saying he should be brought in for Lucas after recent performances, and he's under a lot of scrutiny right now, so hopefully he'll be able to turn that around and change his fortune. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, TRK played a little bit, close stint in MIBR, also an interesting player. So Plano definitely have their options. As we mentioned, speaking to Koga, they've been practicing for 4 months heading into this event.
Yeah, and the standard they'll have set themselves, Robin. I mean, they absolutely have to get to at least the next phase. You know, especially when you're hunting for an organization, right? Because what would it say if you were to be essentially knocked out of the competition without having really mixed it up with the bigger names? So I think Plano, that you can see from them, they are a fun team and they are fun guys. But make no mistake about it, they know the gravity of losing here today.
Malbstig.
Absolutely. Sure, we should note, this is not the only RMR event heading into the major, but for sure, if you spent that much time prepping, haven't really been seeing them around anywhere else, you expect them to be getting to the next stage, next phase rather.
Yeah, because being real, right? Even if you're going out here, firstly, you're not getting any points, and even though there are more RMR events, like if you're getting 0 points in an entire event, you're way behind on a notch versus any other team. Like, well, the next 8 teams above you. So, like, you don't want to be left by the wayside, even if it is the bare minimum, the bottom of the point list. You need that. So.
For sure.
There is a lot of pressure.
I mean, hell, just ask Team 1, right? That was basically their 2020 RMR results summarized. And so that's why, like, for either one of these squads, you know, you are going to end up heartbroken at the end of this. For Team 1, really promising 2020 where they're able to stack the RMR points up fairly high. And if they lose this, you know, they could wind up being the ones to start 2021 with none in their bank account. So, you know, one, it's like a battle of expectations. The other, it's continuing your good results of times gone by. Winning that little force buy, that's a classic out of Team 1, right? We always talk about their tendency to be able to pull that off, or now they've got to try and win it with these SMGs up against the force from Plano, and the results are looking good out of VSM to open this up. The Deagle has cracked this B bomb site open, and it already looks like Team 1 are trying to save here. So we immediately get a back and forth affair, right? We're 3 rounds in, and already it's just force by wars to begin Mirage.
This is the game that'll get the Deagle nerfed, I think. There's so many good Deagle players across both teams. Absolutely lethal in the hands of so many players. Obviously, Malb's a big one, but in the hands of someone like VSM, KNG, it's an absolute nightmare as well. So anything you can do, we can do better. I know Plano are going to bounce back immediately. Team 1 looking to just hold on to some weapons here.
Yeah, but at least it's 3 guns, so they can rebuy here with pistols. So sure, we talk about the economy in the beginning of CT rounds especially, but saving 3 weapons, it's not a full-blown reset. But rounds like these, or the beginning of rounds like these, really benefits the T's, especially if they can manage to consistently win one more round here. That's when you see 1-5 score lines, heading into only having the first weapon round at round 6 or 7 even.
Full force from the 2 players who died, and a flash to mid to put Pesadeo in the right place. It's meanwhile a B execute. We've got 1 cat lurker again. KNG had a lot of impact doing this exact play in the pistol round. This time he's walked all the way up, and no one is any wiser. PRT's going to realize the bulk of the players coming to the apartments, but that smoke won't stop anyone, especially not KNG on the catwalk. Mouse with the D. We know what he likes to do, but it's only 1, not 2. And now, cordoned out by the Molotov, Pesadeo has to give them the plant. 3 on 4. Is it another save?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be, right, considering it should be another eco for Team 1 anyway. So, sure, it was a full buy, which is why you kind of didn't see Team 1 necessarily do any kind of gamble. There was a 3-man stack, no real attention to mid. I feel like throughout this whole event, the Mirage games we have seen from the Brazilians, the KNG move right there has been pretty frequent. Very similar to what we just saw from Phelps. This time around though, like I said, we're essentially saving for next round, so I don't think we should be seeing if one of the 3 members that had saved their weapons, if they had a spare gun or a pistol, they might drop it to PRT or Malbs. But in these cases, you don't tend to see a lot of buys here. If you would have gotten a lot of kills, maybe a P250. But this should be 3 weapons and 2 USBs.
Yeah, and a tech pause just coming in as well, so a little bit of time to get everyone in order. But not much. And Robin absolutely on point. Not a lot of utility coming in. 1 kit. And just those saved guns.
Yeah, and I can see that from Aluke. That's a good call there to buy a kit. Definitely winnable. Let's not lose the round because we don't have enough time to defuse the bomb.
Exactly.
It is interesting that the kit finds itself down here in lower. That's probably, or at least it should be, where the kit gets lost. That immediate dink
no, there's a lot of
house
blockage here.
Pretty gnarly.
Oh,
Maluki burns
He was
to
so
death.
flashed, he had no idea.
Yeah, but a little Brazilian barbecue being served up for Maluki. And there's that kit gone as well, down in a unenviable placement if you want to try and get it back. But first things first, Team 1 need to stay alive.
I think we're seeing really good decision-making out of Plano, though, like in this position. They know what they're up against. They are in a massive advantage, killing Team 1, trying to make a play in lower. And so they just keep holding. Look at the 2 mid players just sat back and relaxing, just waiting for more mistakes to be made. And with none coming through, eventually they'll group for this B play. Okay, 2 CTs here, sure, but PRT's jump spotting with an USP, and XNS is actually rotating out at the wrong time. So it's a guaranteed round. That kit will not be used anyway, as there's no retake in this one. Even with a big flank from Pesadeo, it's going to have to be really quickly, and his teammates will have to hold on, at least getting 1 each. That's a nice dink. PRT, can they clean him out without letting him take Henny out of the round? XNS, oh, if only he swung a bit wider. That low player gets out of dodge. And XNS just laying down, suppressing fire. Here's the flank from Pesadeo, spotted. And a VSM, or KNG rather, will pick him up, putting it to a 4th round from Plano. We may not have seen, especially on Nuke, the second map of the series, some extreme tactical depth. But on a map like Mirage, just playing your cards right now if you're Plano.
Yeah, some really solid rounds here in the beginning. maybe expected to see if they were going to drop the kit down with Maluki and one more person down in underpass. Was expecting maybe a B apps push at the same time, kind of pincer the people moving towards that B area. It didn't happen though, and here we go, round 6, first weapon round. Maluki with the AWP, goodbye here for both of these two teams. No AWP on Plano yet. Oh, KNG really quick on this. Oh. He had a great spawn to A, decides why not, throw me a flash and I'll go and take a peek.
That's gonna throw some chaos into the round. Luckily, Hesidelo's there and connected to keep it even. Leo is all the way through A, and he could even keep going. Instead, he waits for this con kill, and he's creating a tremendous amount of space. He is throwing this CT hold into disarray. Oh, Plano still have the bomb in the B apartments, and Leo is about to get the information that he's forced both players to rotate round. This is a great lurk out of Leo. And even though he doesn't get all the kills, he's basically won the round through the attention he's pulled to that A bomb site, right? PRT might just have to deal with the grim reality that he's too far away to play into this 1v2 clutch attempt.
Yeah, looks like he's going to save again, and you can just see how much pressure Plano are exerting on the T side. You're absolutely right there, Harry. You know, just getting yourself into that position, getting a smoke down, forcing people to rotate and take the fight against you, and then you come out on top in one of those fights. Just great stuff. And, you know, for the first time, I want to say this is like Plano starting out really razor sharp, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm very glad you say that, Richard, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've been pretty underwhelmed with Plano, if I'm being honest. And so it's nice to see, you know, in a match that matters a hell of a lot, like, it feels like they've really got their heads screwed on. Something else I've kind of constantly alluded to about this team is that they have a lot of gimmicks, right? They have a lot of, like, these little things that they'll pull out, and you maybe only see them do it, like, not even once a game or once a series, but they have, like, these ideas that are very, very cool. They've showed us a couple of them. There's, like, that neat little pistol execute. There was something else that they did that I'm having a hard time remembering now. But point is, you know, they've had a few of these gimmicky rounds, and I can't wait to see what other tricks they have up their sleeve if they feel the need to bring them out in this series.
I feel like last round was even a gimmick round, as you pointed out. Let's wait on that. PRT has pushed into B Palace here. Gets the Odarky, but that's about it. Will go down. He's the only one with a weapon. Pistols across the board here. No, but to speak a little bit about the previous round, it's a really cool round that Plano does, speaking to the individual level, right? KNG has a great spawn up in A ramp. He goes up, while that is happening, full-blown chaos. Henny is rushing up to mid, so it creates this kind of crossfire setup, taking a lot of map control at the same time. So while this is happening, Leo Drunky in that A apps just drops the Go CT spawn. So that's what kind of leads to that round kind of taking place in that case. Or in that sense. So if you're CT, all you're seeing at that round is full-blown chaos, right? You're like, they're everywhere.
Everything was going swimmingly until Henny got dinked on a ramp peak. He mollied himself off. He now is running because he has the bomb. He doesn't want to die and lose the round. Luckily, there's players in the A site to pick up the pieces, and no one's going to be able to cut Henny down just yet with window under the control of VSM. So nice rerouting from Henny. It may look dangerous, but he knew his team had his back.
Yeah, it could still get out of hand, though. With Maluki in sandwich and low HP on both players that were in the site, there was definitely a world where that could have got out of hand, but VSM and Henny get control of the situation. And this is something that is pretty cool. I have been a big fan of VSM, I'll be honest. Like, he's a very, very aggressive player, and I think that is bang on in this team. Like, he's the kind of guy you want, that when you're playing one of these slow rounds and it's all about, like, one player finding an opening for you to exploit, he's great in those situations, right? You can kind of just, you know, let him run wild, let him make his own decisions, leave him to his own devices, and he'll try and get you results from that. And more often than not, he's very, very good at getting you results from that. I've been a big fan of, you know, just watching how he approaches these rounds and the kind of room he's able to create for his team.
Well, he's the prodigal son, isn't he, of Brazilian CS. You know, people wanted him in the teams, obviously, with the changes to the RMR rules. That's now a possibility. And this is his time, you know? He's only 21 years old. He's been around the scene for a while.
Say his name, he'll appear. That's a massive opener.
Just
KNG
like
get a B
Candyman.
pick. This round tastes good, that's to say for sure, for at least Plano. They've got B, and they're still getting a just in case, you know. You want to plant 2 bombs at once, this is how you do it. Fragging out Maluki with the orb, and as that smoke fades, he is on the chopping block. Goodbye. VSM with all the kills we need, and 7-1. Plano, man. This is the team we wanted to see. This is what
this is
exactly
just
what we
individual
wanted.
performance, just running havoc, right? Just add to your point. They're just taking B and A at the same time.
Yeah, and this was what we were worried about, right? For Team 1. You know, we alluded to it in the very brief introduction that we did before the start of the series. Who's going to step up on Team 1? Who's going to meet these incredibly talented players on Plano head-to-head? Who's got that level of firepower? XNS, perhaps. We'll see if he can be consistent in yet another Deagle round. Malb certainly is a player you're going to look
at
to.
this. So Maluki's got the flash to try and aggress them out of con. This is a deadly little setup with the Deagles, but Plano have made the right decision, right? Just to sit back in top mid, wait for this aggression. And it's great, man. Any team that can put a stop to a Team 1, you know, partial buy round finding success is doing something right. Yeah. This is a team that so often get away with victories in rounds like this. So big stuff out of Plano to have the read, to have the foresight, to not get caught by that flash deeg push in middle, knowing the money was low and having spotted players over towards con and mid. That's a read they felt comfortable making.
And even in this 4-on-1, look at everyone. They've got great positions. They're just holding. Right?
Where's this Plano been? Like, this is very exciting. I'm really liking the cooling that's coming out. It's like a nice middle ground between... It's like a passive-aggressive play style. That's, you know, you have like a couple of guys who are really taking like all the liberties, and then everyone else is just kind of sat back, very, very passive, playing this kind of game where let's see the space that VSM can create. Let's see the room that our entries can get us. And play around that. This is really, really nice out of Plano, and it's kind of typical Team 1 luck that the rather underwhelming BR team that was destined to be good has decided to up their level in this game.
Yeah, no, I will say, I think if Team 1 are ever going to take this win, it has to be a 3-map, all right? We have Nuke that we already know is a problem for Plano, and Train, which is a great home map for Team 1 coming up. So I wouldn't say this surprises me yet, but if they get reamed out, if this keeps up, if they get destroyed in the first map, that really will not bode well, will it? Leo flashing himself spawn side. Malbs is here waiting for the reflash, and so it is coming. Ollie as well. Finally, Malbs has got to make his move, but he's got to wait out this utility before he does. Plant is in. A lot of nades
left, though, still for Team 1, so definitely the potential for Plano. They have to kind of overpeak here.
Double CT retake now. Oh, the headshot angle, and Malbs pulled a nade as he got peaked. VSM in the post-plant is just as lethal as the pre.
Man, you know, one other thing is we got to speak to Malbs, because, you know, we talk about XNS now, they're slotting a new player in. And, you know, Malbs did kind of say he doesn't think they're at their strength yet, right? He feels like there's still a lot of challenges. I think that's something where, in a game like this, when you're just getting the flow dictated to you, right, you're really going to be feeling the burn of, like, the lack of any kind of comfort, you know, like it's always a little bit weird. Anytime you're switching players around and moving guys like XNS about the map, you're making people uncomfortable. You know, you might feel a little less sure in your protocols at times like this. They're just getting run over. This is going to be a very, very hard match to get back into, both in terms of, you know, like physically and mentally in this case.
Here's what would worry me if I was Team 1 right now, Harry. It's the fact that they've tried some curveball plays, right? You've seen Team 1 are pulling out some pretty smart strats. Plano have read them. I don't know if like, maybe Kogu's got together and they've done an anti-strat program. I don't know if it's familiarity with the players and their tendencies. I don't know if they went into some sort of deep meditative state and spent time in a hyperbolic time chamber to get ready for this one. But nothing Team One have tried on the CT side of Mirage has worked at all. Even the stuff you shouldn't expect. Plano have looked 2 steps ahead every time.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to not hitting the shots, you know? Yep. Individual performance at the moment.
There's a bit of a read in this round right on the Deeg play. They've fully stacked this B site, and so we might have a bit of a brawl here. Usually Plano have been good at dodging these stacks. Well, for once they're going to have to try and brave the murky waters of this B bomb site. And once again, it's BSM let off the leash to go and create that space, but the trades haven't come in. And now we're waiting for Henny, but we can't wait forever. There's 15 seconds. This bomb has got to get into the site. And with the kills coming through, Henny gets there just in time. 10 up on the board. And honestly, you know, like considering you're walking into a stack with like 20 seconds on the clock and it ends up, you know, starting the way that it does with them uncovering that too late, it all grinding to a halt. The decision to wait for Henny and, you know, just have faith in actually winning the fights right away was great for Plano. Very impressed with what we're getting out of them right now.
Yeah, the realization like kicked in, didn't it? Right? They send VSM out. He sees at least 2. Then they see a third backside, and they go, "Uh-oh, right? We don't want to start throwing here." It's easy to just drop in with 15 on the clock, but they use those extra 5 seconds to let Henny get set up, and he gets 1 kill off the flank. That's enough. So everyone wins, at least on Plano's side. And Team One, it's not what we wanted, but they have already been at the beck and call of Plano, right? Like, what can they do right now?
Well, also, like, Team One are very, very reasonable people, and, like, with this map at least going the way that it is, like, if they were to lose this series, I think they would just feel like the better Team One on the day, right? Like, as sad as that is to say, and as good as Team One have looked throughout 2020, maybe some more time needed to get this roster back up to shape with some of the changes that have gone on.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting completely outgunned at the moment. I am hoping, to Hugo's point, maybe it's not Mirage, but maybe we do swap over to the other maps. Because at the moment, even if you look at the way that these rounds have unfolded, it's not like Plano is getting the bomb down, you know, it's nice after plant positioning, and, you know, the rounds are close. No, this is straight out elimination series, the last 5 or 6 rounds. Bomb hasn't even been planted.
Yep, they haven't needed to. And even in favorable fights like that, they're breaking for Plano. It's just brutal to watch.
What do you even... Yeah, like, they're in your spawn, man. They are in your spawn. And you're just trying to rotate. Like, you still haven't even made your mind up. Am I going to get to play the round today? Oh, no, never mind. They're already right where I am. And, yeah, I mean, this is like... You're just getting outclassed at this point.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. Yeah. VSM was showing that on camera there, we saw. He was waving his hands. He's like, yeah, just flip, headshot. And French mid.
A merciful technical pause for Team One, although I gotta say, listen, if I'm Maluke, I'm probably saying, you know what, guys, like... Our map's coming up. Yeah, this way. I would literally be using this downtime to start talking about what we're going to do on the next map in all seriousness, because, you know, you've already given up a preposterous amount of T rounds on this. You're going into another round where you're going to be at a disadvantage. You know, maps like this, sometimes you have to wonder if it's better to just get banged out 16-1, or let's say you put all your energy in, you battle back, and then what, you lose 16-14, and then what do you?
I've definitely heard some pros say, after losing games like that, yeah, man, I wish we just got wrecked. Like, I wish we never even got believing in that game. We could just wipe it, forget about it, go next.
And I obviously know all pros are obviously trying all of the time, but let me tell you, your head goes to strange places when you're getting absolutely brutalized like this, you know?
Yeah, you know, no one's ever making the decision like, well, let's just not try anymore, you know, like, but it's like, it's kind of what it, you know, we always say we don't like to talk about the psychology too much, but, you know, you kind of experience it even on like micro levels when you're playing for nothing and you're just playing with your friends at home, right? You'll have a game where you're getting banged out and the comms go a bit quiet and suddenly, oh, your guy who's been talking a lot or usually talks a lot, well, he's not really saying anything. No one's got any faith anymore. You're going into fights believing already like, I'm just going to die when I swing this angle, aren't I? And then it happens and it's like, well, at least I got that right. And, you know, man, it is very, very rough. And, you know, like all this stuff can happen even, like I say, when you're not competing for anything. Well, you imagine right now, there's a potential shot at the major on the line. There's getting into the next phase to play versus the brightest and best that NA has to offer. There is a lot riding on this game. And so that pressure is, you know, tenfold applied to both these teams right now. And I can tell you that Team One are the ones feeling it a lot more.
Yeah, well, you absolutely are in this situation. And, you know, as I said, it's a merciful tech pause that's coming in because you have to hope that, you know, you can disrupt Plano's momentum. And if you're not going to be able to disrupt it with your play, you have to hope for extraneous things like this to maybe kick in. But that's it. That was your respite. It's all over now. Plano are going to be coming right back at you. Oh, and
back
bad news.
to the beating.
Yeah, exactly. The beatings will continue until morale improves, Team One.
No, but that's what I was getting at as well, right? Like, to your guys' point, it's going to take... there's not even anything we can pinpoint right now other than the fact that they are not winning their duels. Plano is getting... You know, they are just spreading out. They are winning every single duel, and there are gaps.
Well, maybe they think second time's the charm. I'm not so sure because the mid control of Plano have exerted has been absolutely phenomenal.
I have a nasty thought that Maluki's just going to die to Palace and then the round's over. They're pushing top mid. And here's the Palace player. Now, Maluki, help! Please don't let my prophecy come true. Surprise him. Yes, Maluki. There he is. XNS is the Eagles going to help out as well. And so maybe second time was the charm for Team One in this round. VSM has opened up the B site, though. So a new set of problems start to present themselves. Oh, it was going so well. And now look at it. Maluki and Pesadello left alive in the 2-on-3.
And they have to go for it, I think, Harry. I think at 11-1, you've got 2 AKs.
I mean, like, what even is the right call here? Like, because on the flip side, they've tried going for rounds before, and it hasn't worked, so...
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would say, then, if Plano is playing like this, play defensive, you know? Let them go hit the bomb sites if they want, because it's pretty clear, right? They want to take the map control. If these stacks aren't working, Plano's been very fast on the rotate strat because of the fact they are just spreading out, going for kills.
I never like it when you're in this position of kind of having to save to go 12 rounds down because you're essentially giving up match point on a pistol. I always think you have... This is when you have to push back and take some risks because one pistol round, and we all know they're a coin flip, and you're blown out. There are no more chances, so... But Team One have made that decision to save. I'm sure people at home will be like, nope, that's definitely the right call. Silver casters, lol. But I think there was, you know, they've got to start looking at, you're not going to get a window of opportunity, but you might get a tiny little sliver that you might be able to do something with if you just take a few risks.
Oh my. B-Fake being sold by Leo, and look at the reaction. We got a double under push, and he's ready for it. Oh, give them a chance, Leo. And that's only going to sell this further. By the way, they're all A. They're running out Palace. It was all a ruse. A trap laid and set. Forget the bomb. Henny doesn't need it. KNG's got the cover with the double T-side orb. Furia-esque. It's only PRT.
Mate, when Plano are pushing both bomb sites and taking both of them, like, what can you even do? PRT is stuck between everyone. Yeah, he's just in the middle of this brawl. That's nice, he's blind, he gets the kill, but will he be able to survive? He's getting tickled down lower and lower. And it feels like a matter of time. There's Leo to cement it, taking the gun away, adding insult to injury.
On one side, a hard place. On the other side, an even harder place. Nowhere to go there.
I think Plano are like, look, if we can do this in 2, we can get down the pub before closing time. This is absolutely insane. Just the pace they're playing this game at. You know, and this is what I mean. When you talk about oppressive play, they are just running at you. Forget your strats. They're already disrupted by the time the thought has been formulated. They're just playing so hyper-aggressive on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, if they win the series like this, Richard, I think the reaction they had after winning their opening game would be
that
appropriate.
would be justified, Hugo, absolutely, because this is, I mean, sure, we'll take into consideration the level of their opponents, but this is the best I've ever seen Plano. No joke right now.
Yep, absolutely.
That's an exciting thought, though. Like, maybe, right? Maybe when the games really start to get serious and, like, the going starts to get tough, maybe that is when you get the best look Plano. Malbs was even saying that, right? He said that, like, now, bad example to use on account of the scoreline right now, but he said Team 1 feel like they play at their best when their backs are against the wall, right? Wow. When they're in the lower bracket, when they're in rough spots.
Step up or shut up, I guess.
But I just mean, you know, it's a pretty common phenomenon that some teams come alive when they get put in these undesirable spots.
By the way, we have triple AWP T side. I just think that needs a note.
Yeah, Henny's bringing this one
over. No
over
wonder it's been a slow round. This is the one they'll lose. They're like, oh, we didn't rush fast enough. As I say that, though, KNG won't miss one more shot.
Yeah, they're just going to play Quake in a moment, probably, and just be like rail gunning people from all over the map, but...
The 5 ops production tells us.
Oh, okay, well...
They're doing anything they can. They're doing anything they can to avoid being, you know, like the Team 1 round meme, you know, like, ha 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 ha. That's all they're going to get, though, unless they can't make this retake happen. And it's a 2-on-3 for PRT and Malbs. All alone, both through CT and into the waiting guns. A slaughter as they face the AWPs in the open. Henny sends them both to the Shadow Realm, and Team 1 round versus Plano's 14. This is looking like it could be a quick Mirage. Join us after the break.
So indeed, as Harry said, it is Team 1 round. Everything is definitely going according to plan. Wish we'd seen this plan a little bit earlier, but Plano are certainly hot favorites to close out Mirage.
Yeah, let's see if they can do it with style. Keep up the dominance, VSM. Yes, he can. One quick shot. And by the way, B is stacked. It's not getting any easier from here on out. It's a deep nade, and it's Henny dropping the bomb. One by one, they start tumbling down, but there's a trade from Pesadeo. Now just Leo back in the site, overwhelmed, and now there's a chance.
Certainly is. KNG creeping, though. I don't know if they know he's out yet. This position. Oh, but yeah, Pesadeo caught him. And now we're into the dance of death. Pesadeo knows the steps to it. He's going to get the first kill on KNG. And will take Lucas down to perhaps save some face.
Comeback's real, boys.
Yeah. Doubles his kills in that pistol. 4 beer frags from Pesadeo. It just, you know, I'm not even considering the comeback for at least 10 more rounds. I'm not even thinking about that word.
No.
No, in this day and age as well, it's the second round that you want to be cautious about as well.
That was the one round that Team 1 got in the first half. They lost pistol, they win the force with Malbs, big deke, 3k, and then they get swept. That one round here, however, has daunting consequences if it were to be won by Plano. And y'all going to tell me they're not going to buy? Of course they will.
Henny and KNG being smart, though, about their money. You can expect then a double op for the first weapon round, but they might not even need it. Bad smoke in mid.
Yeah, Leo blocked it. Leo blocked it by standing on top of it. So as it landed, it just gets trapped underneath him. And it gives him that little gap in the left-hand side. I love that. He isn't able to use it. They re-smoke the window, right? They realize that there was a gap there because he goes peeking through it. But regardless, you know, you've got this mid control that you set out for. However, you are a man down, so you've had to make sacrifices just to get this area. And now the question becomes, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, the read. Leo's already rotating the little cat to B play, and it's tempted in by that frag onto VSM. Still 2 men here. Leo drops a smoke to let him get out market. They need to deal with the 1 apps man. Maluki's up cat, and Malbs helps out 2 frags into B. It feels like this round is no longer a danger for Team 1. Looking to find their 3rd in this T side. Yeah. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Definitely not. Let's see if the twins can use their bond to come up with something insane here. Looks like they are just waiting for someone to show themselves. Not overly committing, just looking to play for a few kills. And yeah. Oh, and there's Lucas down. But might get 1 exit there. No. Oh. Malbs. Finally getting his eye in. And that's going to be 3 on the board for Team 1.
4 alive as well. So stable 2nd round.
Indeed.
We're not going to see the repeat then that we saw previous half. And with this should mean a relatively safe 3rd round. It really depends. You can't really be discounting these still, especially with Plano stacking a little bit towards A. Yeah, we still want to be mindful. We just don't want to run and gun into things. That's when that has the potential of happening. We still want to get the trades, so good job by Malbs.
And mid's conceded, but
this is just the same round again. Like, same positions out of these B-side players. Last time, the peak over bench came a little soon. I wonder if KNG is just going to hide out here, right? Use Leo as bait. Now they discover KNG, but he's still alive and is able to slow down the site take a little bit. Buys a bit of time for these players that are wrapping the apartments to get deep. And, you know, even doing damage is a worthwhile venture at this point for Plano. It's the brothers again, the twins side by side. They've been spotted by PRT. I think he's only seen 1 so far. There's the 2nd. Now they know, and PRT just deals with them both. So Team 1 are on to 4. For that reinvestment, the double AWP, it's all about to be brought to the table by Plano. And this is like, you know, a real eye test here. Because we have both Henny and KNG saving some money, you know, we can have the full brunt of this purchase come on through. We get the double AWPs in. If you're able to overcome this, Team 1, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah. Maluki with the AWP though. We'll see what they have for the first weapon round for us.
Yeah, I think Team 1 are about to remember what it was like to go up against Plano when they have guns. And it will not be a pleasant memory. So let's see.
Yeah,
very
I think,
patient.
Yeah, and maybe expecting double AWPs here as well. Be mindful here if you're Team 1. Not too many long distance duels. Plenty of nades as well on the T side, so being very mindful. Just took over mid compared to previous rounds. They have definitely spent a little bit more time and utility. Oh no!
They didn't see him.
They did not clear it.
On that. The timing on that.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know either.
He doesn't know either, but...
Oh, he saw it. The shadow.
The cool,
The
yeah.
shadow.
Oh, he can backstab if he wants to be a crazy man, but it's that take 2.
Wow.
And he's got them both. Now the apps players filtering out, but Leo's not giving them even an inch. VSM is cutting off the cross, and the bomb is loose as well. Only Pesadeo in mid. What an awful timing for Team 1 as well. Like, they didn't full clear that corner. You can full clear it without jumping up the ladder, but I don't know, they just didn't believe it, man.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy. VSM catches the shadow as well on top of the box. And then just incredible timing. He gets a guy in B apps as well.
Yeah, it just meant the B players didn't need to peek, right? Leo just tucked in, knowing that the cross to him was covered, and then peeks as soon as the bombs dropped. Has to be a save. 15 rounds now for O Plano. One more. And yep, the memory of guns, well, it's bittersweet.
I mean, yeah, also as well, talk about how it never rains, but it pours. I mean, you know, you have one round essentially undone by just an incredible timing like that. This is when, you know, things start to get in your head. It's just not our day. It's not gonna happen. Team 1 got to take 11 straight to tie it up, and then they would have overtime to look forward to.
I have a nasty feeling that PRT is about to have his day ruined. Oh, there it is. Lucas dealing the damage, set up by the flash, and it's the beginning of the end. Just Pesadelo left alive, and he is living in a nightmare right now. They molly him and lower. This guy's not even with the bomb, he's not even with his team, and yet they know, they chase him down, and it is an insanely dominant victory to open up this series for O Plano. A very exciting look into the team here, and if they can keep this up, then wow, did they just get that much more exciting. We'll be back in just a minute with the second map of this series, so don't you go anywhere.